Hey guys, welcome back. This is Jesse with Dream.com. In this tutorial, we'll go over some string manipulation, and a string is a line of text, as you know. A good thing to do is get familiar with the PHP manual. Now, there are just tons and tons of functions, but there's a lot of them that you're going to be reusing a lot throughout your lifetime of doing PHP, and it's not really necessary to beat yourself up over it and try to remember everything. You'll find that there's a lot that you use over and over, like Metaphone. I don't even know what that is. I've never used it. And Levenstein, I don't know what that means either. So don't panic over how many functions there are. But for some string manipulation, I'm at the PHP manual, and I'll go through a couple of these. I'll start with string replace, and when you go to this page, you get a description. Now, it's a good idea to know what this stuff means right here, because then you'll be able to quickly scan through it, and I'll try to explain that as easy as possible. Basically, you have a function. Okay, this is the function. It's in bold. And these are parameters between the parentheses that you can use. And mix means it can be integer, boolean, stuff like that. Sometimes it'll say int. That means it needs to be an integer. There it is right there. But so you start out with your search and what you want to replace it with and what the subject is. So we do something like this. We're going to search for line, and we're going to replace line with something. And what is the subject? The subject is the block of text we want to replace. So let's just call this subject equals line of text. Okay, and this will replace line with something like so. So it's pretty easy to use. You could even place variables in there. Um, say A equals line, B equals blah, and you could replace this. If it finds the variable A, which is line, inside of the subject, replace it with B, blah. That might be a little confusing. Let's look for another thing that we'll use time to time. String length, that just gives you the length of a string. Pretty simple. Echo string length subject, and I don't know, that's like 12. Oh, I was right. String in a lot of these you'll see like a extra R or an I. For the most part, str stands for string, like so. The R often stands for reverse, except in this condition. Um, and the I usually stands for insensitive, as in case insensitive. There's a lot of functions that are just really easy to use right out of the box, like um, string to lower um, subject. Let me just type something in here. This text is capitalized, and that lowers it, and you can do string to upper. Now obviously you can do a lot of this with CSS, but in some cases when you're passing data, it's easiest to work with lowercase data. Um, so you'll want to use those time to time. String position, string compare. There's one called string string, and this one you kind of use a lot. And you start with the haystack and the needle and it looks for um, the needle inside the haystack, kind of like the subject and then what we're searching for. So string string, what's the haystack? This is the haystack. And then we're looking for, let's say, haystack. Whoops. Echo. And there we have haystack, and it returns also the period. What if we do is? It should return this portion of the string. There it is. I'm actually not sure why I got the word is twice. Anyways, no big deal. You get the idea. HTML special chars and entities you'll use time to time. HTML entities and special characters are pretty similar. Um, really, I guess it's just up to you to play around with a lot of these. Trim's a good one. For example, if we have a line of text with a bunch of spaces, or let's say someone inputted a password and it was like this, and it had a password with a space at the end, you could just do trim password, and that will trim white space on the left and right. You can do R trim to get, whoops, that was a bad word. You can just do that. There's also something called print F, which is print format. This has a lot of things in it. I don't find myself using it much because I kind of prefer to use a template engine to format my text in just plain HTML. But so string manipulation, you'll find places when you need to mess with things. It's kind of a real quick and plain tutorial. Hope it gives you a little idea on messing with strings. But I think in our next tutorial we'll try to make something so that you feel like you're not just learning functions only. Alright.